Welcome to Schoolio's Learn Your Ways series, where we talk about learning and teaching for neurodivergent minds and for any learner who doesn't fit the traditional mold.
You know, if you've pulled your child out of school because something just felt deeply wrong, you are so not alone. What your child went through was real. And the truth is, they probably need a completely different kind of learning environment to truly feel safe and start to recover. We hear from families every single day whose kids are recovering from something that's often called school trauma. So let's talk about that. What does that term actually mean? Well, it can look like a lot of different things. Maybe for your child, it was being constantly punished for behavior that no one really tried to understand. Or maybe they were masking all day long, trying so hard to fit in, only to come home and have these huge, explosive meltdowns. These kinds of experiences, they can really shake a child's confidence right to the core. So here's the crucial point. Trauma isn't some narrow clinical thing. It's really any experience that has a negative, long-lasting impact. You could have two kids go through the exact same event, but it's the way each one processes it that determines if it becomes traumatic for them. And understanding this is so important because trauma directly impacts a child's ability to learn. It can slow down or, honestly, even completely stop academic progress. Let's take a look at what's actually happening inside the brain.
Okay, so when a child feels unsafe, and remember, unsafe doesn't just mean physical danger. It can be the fear of getting an answer wrong, the fear of being criticized, or just feeling left out.
When that feeling hits, their nervous system kicks into what we call survival mode. The brain's threat detector basically hijacks the part responsible for logic and learning. At that point, the brain's only priority is protecting itself. And this really gets to the heart of it. When a child is in survival mode, there is simply no room left for higher-level thinking. Things like comprehension, creativity, even curiosity, they all just get shut down. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, that's where something called trauma-informed education comes in. And it's not just a buzzword, I promise. It's a researched, really intentional way to create a supportive environment for our kids.
To put it simply, it's an approach that just recognizes that a child's past experiences directly affect how they show up to learn today. And by understanding that, we can change our methods to help them heal and build resilience.
This whole framework is built on 6 key principles. Think of them as the pillars for creating a foundation for safe learning. Let's walk through these. Number 1 is safety, and that includes emotional safety, where it's okay to make mistakes. Second is trust and transparency. No surprises. Maybe you go over the plan for the day together each morning. Third, empowerment, voice, and choice. This can be as simple as letting them choose. Do you want to write a report or make a video for this project? Fourth is collaboration, which means you're a team, learning with them. Fifth is peer support, recognizing that right now your family is their supportive community. And sixth, cultural responsiveness, which is all about honoring their unique identity and passions in what you choose to learn. So this whole approach really starts with us, asking ourselves, is our home environment calm, clear, and consistent? And while we're asking if our child feels safe and heard, we also have to check in with ourselves, because it takes a regulated adult to help calm a dysregulated child. Taking a moment for yourself isn't selfish. It's a crucial part of creating that safe space for them. Okay, so what does this actually look like day to day? Let's talk about how to translate these ideas into your actual homeschool routine. First up, you can offer predictability, but without the pressure. For kids who've experienced a lot of chaos, knowing what to expect is a huge relief. A consistent lesson structure can be so calming, especially when you take away the stress of rigid deadlines. Next is reducing the sensory load. Brains that are overstimulated just don't retain information very well. They tend to shut down. Using materials with a calm, simple design that isn't full of busy visuals or loud sounds can make a massive difference. A lot of children coming out of the school system are just completely burnt out. They need space to breathe. Things like bite-sized lessons and a flexible schedule, they honor your child's energy levels and create that essential room for healing to happen. And this is probably the most important part of all. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Building a learning plan that actually matches your child's unique pace, their passions, and their strengths is one of the most powerful ways to rebuild their self-esteem. So if your child is resistant to learning right now, it doesn't mean they're lazy, and it doesn't mean homeschooling isn't working. If they seem shut down or checked out or angry, it just means they're still healing. They need a learning environment that sees them as a whole person, not as a problem that needs to be fixed. And that healing, it takes time. It requires a deep, deep sense of safety and a real foundation of trust.
And that's our look at what trauma-informed homeschooling can be. Remember, learning doesn't have to look one way to be working. You're allowed to learn your way. See you next time.